The seventh day of Pesach, as we stated, is to consecrate the Kriyat Yam Suf. Yesterday we were slaves in Egypt. We did Leil Seder. We went from slavery to freedom. We left. Now we have 6 days, 5 days in the desert. We're wandering, and at some point, Paro, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is going to harden his heart, and Paro is going to decide to chase after us, and just as we get to Yam Suf, he's going to meet us. He's going to catch up to us. So now we're sitting on Yam Suf. We're looking at an ocean, and now people start to talk. Just like anytime you have anything that happens, people start to talk, right? So you have Trump let's invade Iran. And there's people in his party who agree with him, there's people in his party who disagree with him, there's people on the other side who agree with him, there's people on the other side who disagree with him. And they're all going to start talking. Well, maybe the best way is to do an air attack. The best way is going to do a attack on the ground. The best way is going to do an attack this way or that way. There's lots of different types of talking going on of what to do. And this is exactly Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael is right now doing the same thing. They're coming in, they're saying, what are we going to do? Are we going to fight the Egyptians? Are we going to run? Are we going to go back to slavery? What are we going to do? The only thing that nobody thought was going to happen was that the water was going to open up and create a clear path to the other side. The only thing that is impossible. The impossible can't happen. So everyone's starting to whisper to think about what to do, and Moshe Rabbeinu himself doesn't know what to do because he's waiting for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to tell him what to do. Now there was a person there, and we call him Nachshon ben Aminadab, who he was the Nasi, he was the leader of Shevet Yehuda, and he decided he was going to take matters in his own hands. He said, you know what? There's no way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought us out here to die. And if our goal was to fight the Egyptians, we would have fought them a long time ago. And if we were going to run, we wouldn't have gone this way. And we're definitely not going back to slavery, because we just got taken out. So all of the options that are being talked about are not options. That means that there's an additional hidden option that we're not seeing. And that additional hidden option is, the ocean. Yipalei Meshem Davar. Is it going to be impossible for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to open up this water and we're going to go in and get out? No, of course not. So what? So he says, well, obviously this is the only thing that couldn't be. And now, so what does he do? He goes into the water. The water gets up to his nose. Now at this point, he's not going to be able to survive any longer. And what is the HaKadosh Baruch Hu? At that moment, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Moshe Rabbeinu, put your staff in the waters are opening up. This is your way out. So, the question is, why did one person all of a sudden think of this impossible, that the impossible could happen? And why was that the cause? And in general, what's going on here? Now, another question we want to ask is that we have, Chazal says that Zivugo shel Adam kashe ki Kriyat Yam Suf. That someone finding his wife is as hard as Kriyat Yam Suf. And Parnasato shel Adam ze kashe ki Kriyat Yam Suf. That someone's Parnasah, their livelihood, earning a livelihood, is difficult like Kriyat Yam Suf. And so the question is, one, what's the connection to finding a soulmate and making money to Kriyat Yam Suf? And the second question is why we say it's difficult? It's hard for Hashem to do something. It's hard for Hashem to all of a sudden change the nature. Hashem has no physical constraints that we have. So to say that it's difficult for Him to do something is just pathologically not correct. It's not a correct answer. So to understand what's going on here, someone needs to understand that sometimes you got to let go of the wheel and let Hashem drive. You got to think, okay, I don't know what's going to happen. I have maybe chas v'shalom, someone has lots of debts and they don't have a job, and or they're having a hard time finding a wife, or all these different things, and they have no idea. They say, I've given my phone number to 30 different shadchanim, and the only shidduchim I've gotten is, some random woman in Russia, and other than that I haven't heard from her. Okay, well, because you're putting your trust in the 30 different shadchanim. You didn't put your trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You thought, it's a numbers game, let's give it out to as many people as possible. Now, you can say even, oh, there's all this, all this stuff going on, and I don't know what's going to happen. And so you got to stop and say, okay, Kadosh Baruch Hu, I don't know what you want from me, I don't know what direction you're pointing me, but I'm with you. Guide me on the right way. So what does he say? Now, we have to understand that put our vision on Nachshon. The Rambam brings that the power of the imagination is something that is critical to have prophecy. That if someone doesn't use their imagination, they're never going to have they're never going to have clear prophecy. And the Gra brings this to say it's not just on prophecy. Everyone has to have a well-developed imagination. Why? Because we just saw in Leil Seder that everyone in every generation has to see themselves as if they were going out of Mitzrayim. How do I do that? I have to imagine myself, to put myself in the clothes of 3,000 years ago. Like I'm there making the matzot, and there's pressure, and we're looking at the clock, let's get going. Everyone's running in every direction. We're starting to hear the cries of the Egyptians because all their firstborn sons are dying. And then all of a sudden Moshe Rabbeinu says, Yalla, let's go. So you have to put yourself in that moment. You have to imagine yourself. So the Gra brings that's something that you have to do. To imagine. And so let's imagine ourselves on the beach of Yam Suf. We're there on the beach, we're looking around, there's nothing to do. We don't know what's going to happen, and all of a sudden someone says, you know what? The water. The water. Excuse me? The water, we're going to what? We're going to swim across? We didn't take swimming lessons. We don't know how to swim that well. He says no. Kadosh Baruch Hu took care of us. He's not gonna bring us here to die or to go back or to fight. He's taking care of us. That's the same thing with whether it's a shidduch, a match, or earning a livelihood. No, Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to take care of us. I have to trust the Kadosh Baruch Hu that He's going to take care of me. And that's what I'm saying. Even though I might think, I never know where the best thing is going to come. I'm an American, and I want to marry an American girl, and I want her to have certain traits, and this, and that, and that. And all of a sudden, who do you marry? An Israeli girl. Not that there's one better than the other. It's just his taste, his desire. He thought he wanted something. Kadosh Baruch Hu said, no, the best thing for you and your tikkun in this world is to take a different woman. Someone who thought, oh, I'm going to be the biggest billionaire, I'm going to invest a bunch of money in a bunch of different stocks, I researched them, I did all this stuff that I need to do, I know what's going to happen, I know this is definitely going to go up, and this is definitely going to go down, and so I'm going to buy it when it's down and sell this when it goes up, and all of a sudden does the exact opposite of what he thought. But all of a sudden on the side, he had something that he didn't really think about, and then it blew up. He had something on the side, and he didn't know, which was going to, where it was going to come from. He said, Kadosh Baruch Hu, I trust you. And then it came from the place where he thought it was least going to come. So the question is, why does it happen? And why is it difficult? Why do we say it's difficult in Kriyat Yam Suf? It's not difficult for Kadosh Baruch Hu, because Kadosh Baruch Hu can do whatever he wants. So where does the difficulty come? The difficulty comes from us. Because we have to trust in the Kadosh Baruch Hu that no matter what happens, He's going to take care of business. He's going to take care of us. So that's what we're sitting there on the Yam and says, Nachshon ben Amidav says, I don't know what's going to happen. But I know that we're getting out of this. And I know we're going to move ahead. How Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to take care of it? Not my problem, His problem. Not my problem, His problem. So what options do we have? We can't go that way, we can't go that way, we can't go that way. So where do we have to go? We have to go forward into the water. People probably thought he was crazy. Ooh, this guy's in charge of an entire tribe. He's the head of the tribe, and he's gone completely mad. We're going to have to replace him. Oh, no, he's going into the water, and all of a sudden that's the way. Why? Because we see that the place where the least likely is going to come, that's where the Yeshua comes from. That's where the salvation comes from. And so it's the same thing for someone who says, Kadosh Baruch Hu, I don't know what's going on with Shidduchim. I don't know what's going on with this. I gave my phone number to 30 Shidduchim and nobody calls me back. He says, oh, well, you know what? You have a friend that maybe he has a good match. He has a friend, he knows a girl, he knows a guy, who knows a guy, who knows a guy who has a sister that's also looking for a match. And so the salvation, the saving grace came from a place that was not there, that he didn't think about. And all of a sudden it comes from the direction he didn't think about, and that was exactly what he needed. And the same thing for someone who's working. Why is it hard? Because we have to trust in the Kodesh Baruch Hu that he's going to take care of it, and that's the place where he's going to take care of it, and it's going to come from somewhere. I don't know where a little bit of work to try to make things happen, but at the end of the day, Kodesh Baruch Hu is going to make it happen, and it's going to happen in the way that I didn't think it was going to happen. Sometimes you're going through life, and you're thinking, this is going to be good, this is going to be good, this is going to be good, and then it's terrible. Or you say, I'm going to start a new job, and if I just start this new job, it's going to be great, and everything's going to turn around, and then it doesn't turn around. All of a sudden, this new job brought a whole new set of problems, and then that a person has to deal with. So where does it come from? I have to have the faith. I have to have the emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu that He's going to take care of it. That He's going to help me and guide me on the correct path to where I need to go. And He's not going to, and I'm not going to rely on myself, chas v'shalom. And that is something that is very critical that the Chovot Levavot brings. That the Chovot Levavot says that someone who wants to rely on something that is not a Kodesh Baruch Hu, whether it's himself or other people or computers or horses or cars or whatever he wants to rely on that is not a Kodesh Baruch Hu, Kodesh Baruch Hu gives him over to those things. He says, see that these things don't work. Sees that these things fail. That you can do everything you want, but this is my world. And I didn't design it that you can do whatever you want and everything's going to happen exactly how you thought it was going to happen. And even though it will not happen how you thought it was going to happen, but if you trust me, say, Kodesh Baruch Hu, you take the wheel. You're driving. This is your world. Then I'm going to give you everything. Kodesh Baruch Hu is going to give you everything. People have turned their entire lives around just by being stronger in their emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And so Bezrat Hashem, these days of Chol HaMoed, from Pesach, the first day of Pesach until the last day of Pesach, that we're not only going to get stronger in our learning of Torah, we're going to get stronger in our learning of Torah and also get stronger in our emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're going to get stronger in emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We just saw on Pesach that HaKadosh Baruch Hu can do whatever He wants. He can do the plagues. He can take the Am Yisrael out of Egypt. If you look at the Midrashim there was all sorts of black magic that was keeping Am Yisrael from going out, and it was something that like no one thought of as possible. And now HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, black magic is no problem for me. Paro, no problem for me. All these things are no problem for me. I'm taking you guys out. And now we're going to see, we saw that it's possible. And we're seeing that it's possible even today. We're seeing you have engineers, defense engineers, they're talking about the missile defense systems in Israel. And they're saying, what is happening is a nes as big as Yetziat Mitzrayim or bigger. I heard a non-religious engineer actually say that. He said, what's going on in Israel is bigger than Yetziat Mitzrayim. And you say, for a religious guy, that's pretty shocking. But for a non-religious guy who works in this, he says, if you don't understand how these missile defense systems work, you know that the success rate is at the most 90%. And that we're at a 99% or more success rate is just, there's only way to explain this, that the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is guiding us. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu will continue to guide us and protect us and everyone in their personal Yeshua that they need, or in their personal Yeshua, or in the Klali, in the Am Yisrael as a whole, will see a full Geula Bezrat Hashem B'Merav Yameinu. Amen v'Amen.